Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So we're going to have a look at some of the racing for tomorrow at York. A couple of these I've already highlighted for Premium and Pro members, and I think the first one demonstrates why you need to be a Premium and Pro member, Premium or Pro member with Rating the Races. I've highlighted this first horse at 12 to 1. It's Layakel. He was 12 to 1 when I made the video back on Sunday, I think it was, for this race. He's now top price 7 to 2. He's as short as 11 to 4 at Star Sports. So why do I like Layakel? Trainer and owner and jockey have won this race for the last 2 years with Garci last year and Ilarab the year before that. Both of them come into it off the back of streaks, consecutive wins, suggesting that they had a horse that was just on his way up the ranks. And I think Layakel is another one that they're going to do that with. They would have been disappointed when he got beat in the old Rowley Cup at Newmarket. He went off the 100 to 30 favourite that day and got beat. I mean, that was part of why I liked him here. I mean, he was never going to be 12 to 1. And looking at the jockey bookings, it was very clear quite early that Tom had been booked on Layakel and was not on Garci. I mean, if they were unsure which one they were going to run, they would have booked Tom on both. They didn't. They just booked him on Layakel, and hopefully he can run a really big race here. I mean, the trip is perfect. If he can get covered up, sit in 4th or 5th, hopefully he can go really well here. And yeah, annoyingly for free members, the price is now gone. If you want to get involved at 7 to 2, that's up to you. I think at 12s, obviously, we've got a great price about Layakel. Who are the dangers if you wanted to take him on? I think Thundering, I thought it was a good prep, went 5th of 6th at Ripon. His second to Farhan at York would give him a good chance here. And Forza Auto, who was second in this race last year, has also won at the course. I think he come back and won at the course afterwards. He was second behind Garci, so Kevin Ryan will know roughly what it requires to win a race like this, but he was only rated 78 that day. He's now rated 87, and there might just be another one of those unexposed types on their way up. Real Dream, Layakel, to name a few, and even White Wolf. But yeah, I'm very keen on Layakel for the reasons mentioned. Moving on to the 225s, so obviously I've turned the ratings off for the rest of the races. The first horse I want to talk about here is one that I gave for Premium and Pro members, and that is Silver Samurai. Silver Samurai's got some good form at the track. I think we've got it written up here. You can see I highlighted this race for him on the 10th. He is now running. He dropped £1 for a moderate effort at Newmarket, but I don't think he was given a hard race that day. Very interesting to see William Buick has been booked. He's only had the two rides on him. He won a handicap at Newbury and he finished 3rd in a handicap at Newbury. When didn't get the clearest of runs, to be honest. With a clearer run, he would have probably finished 2nd, if not have won that race as well. To be fair, that was to a horse called behind a horse called Aratus, who did go on to better things. He was rated 102 in his prime. I think he was winning that day off 94. Silver Samurai is top of the 90s. He's 97 now, or down to 97. So I've actually got down 1. I think he was actually down 2, which is hugely. He was down 2, not down 1, down 2. That gives him an even bigger chance. I think he's really well handicapped. He likes the course, 3 places from 4 runs, and he's also not got the clearest of runs those days. If he gets a clear run here, hopefully William can weave his way through and go very close. The second horse that I want to talk about that I didn't give to Premium and Pro members at the time is Bielsa at 12 to 1. Now, why do I like Bielsa? Here we go. I highlighted before his race last time out, back in April. I said surely he's running a red car as a prep for the race at York. And interestingly, he ran a really good race. He was 2nd, only beaten a length by 12th Night. And yeah, I said then that I felt that was really good form. 12th Night has actually come out and won against Since at Ripon. I felt it was a really, really good effort from Bielsa in a race that I don't think he was fully wound up for. Surely he'd be more wound up for this race at York. He's running it twice. He's finished 5th of 96 and 7th of 102. When he was 5th, he wasn't beaten far by Mr. Lupton. So running off 95, another, what's that, £1 lower? What did I say, 96, a pound lower than when he was 5th. You would be hopeful that he goes very close here. Very positive jockey booking in Oisin Murphy. I don't know whether Oisin Murphy's ever ridden him before. He has. He rode him once in the Unibet Stewards Cup and he finished 6th on him at 9-1. So that just suggests that, you know, Oisin doesn't get on this horse for anything, for no reason. And that was off 99. He's now off 95. He wants to ride him in a big handicap, and this is probably one of those handicaps that he's keen to ride him in. Yeah, I mean, there's so many positives about Bielsa that I'm very happy with both of those two, Bielsa and Silver Samurai in this race. Silver Samurai, you can still get 16s, and Bielsa is available at 12s. Moving on to the 3 o'clock, and I had a look through this, and to be honest, I think the youngster wins it. I'm a big fan of Marshman. I think he's got some really smart form. I think he's very, very quick. He was unlucky in the Group 2 last year behind Noble Style. He probably wasn't as not progressive, but didn't progress as well as those others in the race last year at Newmarket in the Judgment. But that was a Group 1, and he went off the 15-to-8 favourite for a Group 1. He's come back this season. He's had a good prep run, winning a Group 3. You know, demonstrates that he has trained on. Yeah, I think he's a very smart horse, and getting all the allowances here, I think he can go very, very close here for Clifford Lee and Carl Burke. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Marshman, and I think he goes very close against the older horses. He's currently 6-1, which I think is about fair. I might make him a bit shorter, maybe. How does Marshman need to be ridden? He's done well from both being held up and going forward. I'd like him to sit just behind the front couple. You know, Creative Force could be that, Diligent Harry could be that, and I hope that Clifford can get in behind one of those. Diligent Harry drawn in 3 is perfect because he's drawn right next to Marshman, and hopefully he can slot in behind Diligent Harry and be taken a long way before making his effort. I think he's a proper Group 1 horse, Marshman, and I think getting all the allowances, he's going to go really close here. The next race I wanted to talk about, I don't want to have a bet in this, but I am keen to keep an eye on Gather Your Rosebuds. I thought her effort at Newbury was a very good effort. The concern would be is she went off 33-1 that day. Surely she would have gone off a shorter price if they really liked her at home. I mean, even for the trainer and the owner, you know, if you think she's that good, you think she's good enough to be contesting a Musadora, you bet on her in a maiden, don't you, or a novice race, and expect her to go close. I know she was 50s and she went off to 33s, but even then you'd have gone off 16s, 12s, 14s, you know, those sort of prices. You'd have surely backed it each way if you felt that she was that good. But she did run a really good figure, and I am interested in keeping an eye on her, but I don't actually have a bet in this race. The Musadora. The final one that I do have a bet in is the Getting Out Handicap. I think they're terrible race names. People that talk about this Getting Out, you know, I'm going to find the winner of the last, I'm going to go bigger on my bets to try and make a profit. I mean, that's not how you should do it. If you're down, you're down. If you're out, you're out. Unlucky. Don't be silly and start overstaking and trying to chase your losses. So anyway, who do I like in this race? If the draw had been better, I'd have been really keen on this one, but I'm still pretty confident, to be honest, in a big run. And that horse is Sea Grey. Only had the 5 runs, only 3 for David O'Meara since moving from Andrew Balding's yard. When with Andrew Balding, I mean, his third to Wild Crusade and Nahani was a really good run. That was good form, went off 9-4 that day after winning on debut at Lingfield. This season came back with a second, in a handicap at Haydock. I thought it was a good effort. Hopefully, he just needed the run. If he did just need the run, the very unexposed horse, still probably learning as well. If he did need the run, that's probably a good race, a good effort to finish second. And the form has actually been franked with Splendent, who was back in 6th that day, has come out and won last time out. Now, Splendent is, if we have a look at the prices, Splendent's currently 9s and Sea Grey is 11s. Well, I think they should be the other way round, at least. Splendent runs here under a penalty, which for me also suggests that the Coles think Splendent is better than what he's going to go up. So they're running him off just a £5 penalty, suggesting, we think we can win again really quickly. And yet Sea Grey actually beat Splendent in that race at Windsor. Yes, the ground might have been against Splendent that day, and maybe he wanted the softer ground, but he's not going to get that tomorrow. I just think Sea Grey stepping back up slightly in trip, up to 1.5 miles from 1.2 miles. I don't think they need to go quite as prominent. They can sit in 2nd or 3rd. I think they're going to have to from stall 20. Let a few others take the lead. Dubai Instinct might go forward. Don't know who else might go forward really. I think it's Dubai Instinct who's likely to be the pace setter, but he's coming out of 3, so and hasn't run for a long time, so it's not guaranteed that he'll go forward. But if they don't go forward and Sea Grey actually gets across from 20 in a really slowly run race, I think it'll go really well. But if he can just track in and sit in 5th or 6th, just behind the pace, hopefully he'll be finishing strongly, because David O'Meara tried him over a lot further. He tried him over 1.6 miles. He goes back up to 1.4 miles now. But I think the fact that they believed he was 1.6 miles after just 4 runs suggests it should come at some point. He should be able to stay further at some point, and hopefully now he's had another year, a bit more experience, another run at Haydock. Hopefully he can run a really big race here, and I'm surprised that he was such a big price. I think the draw is contributing to his 11-to-1 shot, to his 11-to-1 price. So just a quick recap, we're on Laya Cow at 12s. It's up to you whether you want to get involved if you're a free member and you didn't get on at the bigger prices. But one thing you should do, sign up for a premium subscription. The 2 in the 6 furlong sprint, really keen on both. Bielsa at 12s and Silver Samurai at 16s. I think they'll both go really close. Both had good prep runs last time out, Bielsa especially. Hopefully hoping for 2 big runs there. Marshman, I think he's a proper grade 1 horse, getting all the allowances. I think he can get involved here. I'm just watching Gather Your Oats, Bud, so I'm not actually having a bet in this race, but I will be having a bet on Sea Grey in the last race at York, hopefully to end the day in good style.